Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out the Film Geek. Today I'm talking about the 2005 film Brick.
So now I'm very, very curious what you're gonna say next.
Maybe I'll just sit here and bleed at you.
Held if you're gonna go breaking my best clients' noses and expect me to play sandbag. Anyway, you've been sniffing me out before then. Sniffing for me like a vampire bat for a horse with a nick on its ear that he can suck on. They do that.
Brick is directed by Rian Johnson and starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It tells the story of a high school loner that pushes his way into a high school crime ring in order to investigate the murder of his ex-girlfriend. Rian Johnson cited spaghetti westerns and the anime Cowboy Bebop from 1998 as his influences for the visuals in the film. In fact, the character played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt is heavily inspired by the anime character Spike in Cowboy Bebop. His hairstyle, the character's attitude, the way he walks, his very unique walk that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has in this film, all based on the character Spike from Cowboy Bebop. And just a side note, if you haven't watched Cowboy Bebop, that's a high recommendation. Check that freaking thing out because, my god, it is an awesome anime. So what do I like about this film? Well, first off, the style of this movie is amazing. It's done in like a neo-noir type film. It feels like a movie that could have been made in the 1930s, but it's based in 2005 high school. That's what makes this movie really odd. It is based in a high school. One of the things that I really like about this movie is the fact that you always forget that these characters are high school students, and then like out of nowhere the movie just completely reminds you, and it's just a shock to the system. There's like a scene where they're sitting around and it's like this really tense crime intense moment, and then all of a sudden the mom shows up and she's like, would you guys like some milk for your cereal? And you're just totally tore out of the scene. This intense, dramatic scene, and all of a sudden, it's not necessarily ruined. It actually just, it takes you out of the moment, but what it does is it reminds you that these guys are teenagers. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Whoa, that's crazy. And that's one of the things I love about this movie is that it just goes back and forth between this whole film noir vibe from the 1930s, and then all of a sudden it's 2005 high school era type characters. And that's something that's really awesome in the way this movie goes too, is like when any of the adults show up in the film, the characters immediately switch into a normal high school type of attitude, but then when the adults go away, they slip right back into this 1930s like, you can't take me alive, coppa, kind of dialogue. The dialogue in this movie, that's another thing, it's just fantastic. It really helps drive home the entire film noir vibe. The way this movie is shot is gorgeous. There's so many really unique angles and long shots and really cool pans and everything else. Like the movie really relies heavily on the gimmick that it is a film noir film, but it doesn't like throw it in your face too awful bad. It's pretty, I wouldn't say subtle, but it's just the right amount of weirdness so you keep going, right? The performances are also really good. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is outstanding in this. I feel that he's a really underrated actor, and this is a really early film for him also. This was 2005, and I think that he does a just phenomenal job in this film. And I mean, really, everyone else does, but with Joseph Gordon-Levitt really does carry this movie on his shoulders. He has really one of the most complicated characters. He's on screen in every scene. Yes, the main character is literally in every scene of this movie, and you don't get sick of him. You don't get tired of seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie, and I think that says something about the performance. So, you know, if you're looking for a really solid, well-acted, unusual film, then this is a really great choice. If you're interested in checking out Brick, you can find it right now on HBO Max. It's also for rent on YouTube and I believe on Google Movies. So, you know, it's not too hard to find, and it's a great movie, guys. This is a high recommendation if you're just looking for something a little bit different. If you're a fan of whodunit films, dude, check this movie out. This one's right up your alley. You're gonna really dig this movie. Like I said, it's really got that old school vibe, but then it does a really great job of jarring you back into reality, but then just kicking you right back into that weird film noir high school thing. Okay guys, well that's all I got for you today. So if you enjoyed what you saw here, go right ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications so you know when I put another one of these videos up. And as I always like to say, folks, keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.